Hello, everyone. So, welcome back with another episode on The Healing Show. Today's topic is how to remain absolutely in balance, irrespective of so many ups and downs and turbulent phases of life. We know it's life, and yet we do get shaken up when things are not going easy and smooth, and that happens to everyone. I'm here to help you with some of the tips, especially for those who are going through a turbulent phase or ups and downs, and also for those if you're still carrying forward the effects of what happened during those turbulent phases. A lot of people do get shaken up and they take years to regain their equilibrium. And how much we crave for that equilibrium, because you're at your best when you have a sense of equilibrium. I want you to just close your eyes and imagine for some time that if your life is like a smooth flow forever, everything is doing very, very well. Everything is smooth and easy. Everybody cooperates with you. All that is happening is pretty predictable. Things are as you always thought of, and people are the way you always expected them to be. Finances are smooth. Business is going well. Relationships are amazing. Everything is fantastic, including your health. How would be that life like? Let me see, what's the response like? Okay. Hi, Neelu. Yeah, so the question is, how would be the life if everything is amazing, hunky-dory, and pretty smooth? Anybody who would like to respond to that? Okay, so here we have Munmun, Aarti, and we have Bhuvana. And I see a lot of people as Facebook user, and it would be difficult for me to figure out who's that. Okay, that would be blissful. What else? Boredom. Yeah. Okay. Win-win situation. All right. What else? Robotic. Yeah. So, yeah, on one hand, we all want a very smooth and easy life. And on the other hand, if it is completely smooth and completely easy, well, we find pretty boring. And yeah, some people feel a kind of bliss, and most of us find it pretty boring. In fact, I've had people telling me that everything is going on so easy and so smooth. I think there's going to be a big problem now, or it feels like a sense of peace just before the storm arrives. Or some people just say, it's pretty boring, there's nothing to do, there are no challenges. The fact is that we thrive on challenges. We thrive on challenging times. Especially, most of us associate all challenges with growth, because that's when we bring out the best, or we bring out the inner strength. I'm not saying that that's a truth and that's a fact, but that's how the subconscious mind associates. Okay. So that's one of the reasons we do manifest challenges individually as well as collectively. So I see somebody writing over here, life would be awesome, but at the same time, not able to realize its importance unless we have turbulent times. You're so right. Only when we have turbulent times, the opposite experience, we value what we've always had, and we make the best out of it. When we don't have it, like we've always had stable relationships, and we take it for granted. It's only when we go through rough time We value the stable relationship we've had earlier. Same way, finances, we often take it for granted. And when you have difficult times, you value, oh my God, I had such a smooth time when I had a particular job and I had predictable income and stuff like that. So, same way, we often have a peaceful and blissful phase of life and we don't even realize that. We go through it, we take it for granted. The good times pass like jiffy and a rough time feels like ages for so many people. Now, when I'm saying, I'm talking about average individuals. Of course, you could be different, and rough time could be different for different people. Since my subject is always chakras, rough time at the root chakra level is when there are changes in the ground reality, like changing the house or changing the city or location, geographical location, or any damage to the physical body or physical property would be very much destabilizing. People who are at sacral chakra level, physical pain, emotional pains can be highly destabilizing. At solar chakra level, all power issues or political issues can be very, very destabilizing. When you're at heart chakra level, the relationship issues can be destabilizing. When you're at throat chakra level, the accusation, blame game, defamations, judgments can be very, very destabilizing. If you're at third eye chakra level, having your dreams, ideas, and visions getting shattered, getting setbacks in your plans and projects can be extremely destabilizing. And if you're at a crown level, disconnect with the divine, with your higher consciousness, can be highly destabilizing. Now, based on where you are, you need to look at the possibility of going to the next level. Okay. So if you are feeling destabilized because of physical movement, say you have to change the city or a town or overnight leave one place and go and settle somewhere else, now that can be very destabilizing if people are going through a root chakra phase of consciousness. All that they need to look at is the possibility of pleasures. Okay, rather than fighting the physical changes and trying to make the new house feel like the old house and stuff like that, instead look for the possibility of how you can enjoy or make your life more enjoyable and fun. If you are at sacral chakra level and you find the physical pains unbearable, look at taking charge of the situation and taking the command over the situation rather than blaming the reasons or the diet or the external circumstances of people who have hurt you. Take charge, be in charge, own up, and focus. You will ease out your pains because the pains are essentially because of your need to react adversely to the painful stimuli. When you're at a solar level, all these political games and the ups and downs and power games will bother you certainly. However, mending relationships or easing out your relationships, forgiving people, opening yourself to love and to be loved both will ease out the stories. Fighting the solar battle or a power game or a control game at that level of consciousness with people with power and control would be more traumatic and more turbulent. If you are at heart chakra level and you're feeling emotionally hurt, it would be a good idea to refine your communication skills and opportunities both. Look at the possibility of having heart-to-heart conversation. I know most people want to avoid that because it can be further hurtful. However, trust, even if you do not open up, you're going to hurt yourself. It's better to speak up, talk, and communicate. I'm not saying have a monologue. When I say communicate, that means listen to what the other person is saying and make yourself listen to. So it's a two-way exchange. Have a meaningful dialogue, and that will ease out. And that's the functionality of the throat chakra. If you have stories at the throat chakra level, I would suggest go to the third eye chakra level, and whatever terrible, nasty comments you've heard, whatever defamation that has happened, whatever shameful incident, whatever has happened, look at the possibility of fulfilling your dreams, ideas, and visions and complete your projects. When you start feeling good about yourself, it won't matter what others said, because what would matter is how you feel about yourself. And when you're at a third eye chakra level and it feels very, very stormy, of course, connect to your higher consciousness and get the guidance. There would be a brilliance in whatever's happening. And probably there is a greater plan in place, and you need to be a part of that greater plan. Having said that, this appears to be more of individual stories. There are times when the society, the community, villages, towns, countries go through a turbulent phase, for example, cyclones or earthquakes, recently, COVID. So many changes have come up, so many shifts have come up. There are some people who have emerged like winners and they've made the most out of the lockdown phase, and there are some people who have collapsed and succumbed. There's some people who are in a kind of depression. There are some people who are worried, afraid of future. People have got shaken up. And a lot of them, in spite of that, have emerged to be a winner. Now, does that mean that it's because they have lost jobs, or it's because the businesses have collapsed? Are they shaken up because of that? No, there are some people who have not been affected adversely and yet shaken up purely because of their fear of consequences, fear of bad times, fear of losing out on loved ones or whatever they loved. That's what has destabilized them more, though it happened over a period of time. And yet, it was so difficult for so many people. And at the same time, I know personally so many people who actually cherished those moments. They said, oh, we got to be with our family, which we wouldn't have done. The lifestyle has improved for good. I'm eating better, I'm sleeping better. I'm connecting to myself. Now I've got time to meditate because I don't have to go for work. And the responses are mixed. What's the difference between people who've made or who's taken advantage and those people who have succumbed? Yeah, you can say that, okay, one has to go through what we went through, then you will realize, but the situation was same for everyone. And yet people reacted differently based on their inherent response system. The difference is the response and reaction. It's the same situation, which applies to everyone. And yet, based on the inherent response system, they have either emerged as a winner or as a complete wreck where they didn't know what to do next. Okay. We have problems in life and everyone go through some other problems, but it's not the problem that breaks you. It's not the problem which makes you succumb. It's how you respond and react to it. There are some people who stand tall and do not let themselves get affected by whatever comes their way. And there are some people who are resilient. They seem to be succumbing, collapsing. And the moment the wave of destruction or adverse time is over, they bounce back as if nothing has happened. What are your responses like? How do you manage? And the way you manage would make a huge difference in your life and in the way you open up to face the circumstances. I will get back to you after reading few of the comments. Hello and namaste. Good evening, Chandani, Dairavi, Kasturi, Shardavina. Okay, great. Any comment? Let me know. Okay, I also invite you, some of you, if you would like to experience a change in the way you respond. So, for example, I know most of you have gone through a rough time uh, and devastating times at times. And if you would like to experience how Radical can help you, and if you'd like to come forward as a demo, I would be most happy to invite you. I'm just leaving a link over here. And if you feel like you can always jump in, make sure you have headset or earphones handy so that it doesn't echo. I'm just posting the link in case anybody wants to take advantage of that. Right? You can use this link and jump in. Right. Coming back to this radical statements, how do you handle it radically? Of course, individually, you handle based on your upbringings, your value system, how you've been trained and taught by your parents, society, education system. Unfortunately, most education system does not really give you a wonderful training on how to be resilient, emotionally bounce back once a stormy phase is over. And even the society, if you're upset, most likely parents would say, go to sleep, stop crying, stop cribbing about, stop getting angry. It doesn't help you. And sometimes, especially in Indian society, I've seen girls are not supposed to be angry, boys are not supposed to be crying. So even the emotional responses are not even encouraged to be expressed. As a result, most of us even have forgotten that I have any emotional issues. And we are expert at storing all those emotional feelings and reactions in our tissues. We only realize when we get deep psychosomatic troubles of certain kinds. Right. So if you want to come forward, we can talk about that, right? Hi, Anupama. Okay, I'm going to add Anupama to stream. Hi, Anupama. Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes, but it's echoing. Do you have a headset?
Yeah, I'm just doing that.
I think. Okay. Meanwhile, I'll just mute her. Okay. So I'm just seeing as a Facebook user, I think it's a way you respond to the situation that makes a difference. Also, a willpower and attitude towards life makes a lot of difference. Yes, certainly. Let's be realistic. Let's learn to face the situation, then run away. And there is a way to face the situation, and better would be to discover the brilliance, because all these turbulent phases do bring out the best in us. The faster we discover and the faster we align to it, the easier it is for us. Abir is saying, it was an amazing time for me knowing people are resting. Yeah, great. Okay,
Can you
Swati
hear me,
saying,
ma'am?
yes, certainly.
Okay, thank you.
Great, and it is good. Okay, 2 minutes, Anupama. Swati is saying, in my space, I keep getting comments as you are on your spiritual journey. How are you getting angry? Okay, we are on a journey. We haven't reached there. That's what you need to say. All right. Yes, when you start your spiritual journey and you start working layers after layers, sometimes you do come across very deep wounds and emotional hurts. And sometimes you do appear to be emotionally unstable because, you bring out what needs to be healed in you. And as you get more and more aware, all those layers start surfacing up, which may take you and others by surprise, but that's okay. That's just a phase. Do not get deterred to keep working with that, Swati. Yes, Anupama, over to you. You can unmute and speak. Thank you so much.
Hi. So
Hi.
I've been doing Soul's Temple with Bandana, who is like a
Uh-huh.
big advocate of Soul's Temple, and it's been great
Fantastic.
sessions with her.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted that while I've been able to focus on my body and what I want to do with it and things like that, a financial lack and not having a job since quite some time is also something that I'm facing, which I need really help with. I've done Soul's Temple for it, but I'm not able to focus on it.
Ah, okay. Um, what does this make you feel? A
Lack,
financial, like, hmm.
lack, mm, self-esteem,
Hmm.
confidence, everything is taken a beating, and the fact that probably I'll never get a job. That kind of
Ah,
fear is there a lot in me. And while I'm trying to keep myself motivated and positive, which I'm taking the help of Bandana and Pramod and those who advocate Gita, who advocate Soul's Temple, but
mhm.
um, I'm still not able to get over that. Why, like the fact that why am I not able to attract that job or and things like that.
Anupama, what do you want job for? What would you get if you get job?
I feel a sense of purpose and obviously financial independence.
What is more important, sense of purpose or financial independence?
Right now, with my situation, yes, it is financial independence, but also the fact that I will be occupied also.
You can be occupied in different ways.
I am occupied like that, but obviously, your situations require you to have
what what does it
fi-
make you feel when you're not financially independent?
dependent, not fulfilling. There's so much lack because there are a lot of things I want to get or do for family, but I can't do it. So there are a lot of things which I feel.
What hurts you the most?
The fact that I'm not financially independent, because still till 2016 I was always financially independent.
What kind of
And
people are financially dependent?
mm, what kind of people?
Huh?
The ones that don't have money. I mean, what kind of
And okay. And people who don't have money, what kind of people are they in your mind?
I'm not judgmental like that. I'm just thinking about myself. I don't think about others not having
No
money. I'm just,
problem. So,
yeah.
what is it to be financially dependent, or what is it not to have money?
What is it? There's so much of lack, right? Because there's lack of self confidence, there's lack of self esteem, there's lack of materialistic stuff that you want in life, there's lack of the fact that you're not capable enough to do something for others. When it comes to money, there are other
Hmm.
things that I do for people, but in fact, I'm talking on my family, but it's the fact that I don't have money to do all that I want to do for them.
Okay. So, possibly there's a deep association of lack with growth. Okay.
Okay.
Most of the time, subconscious mind has a deep association of lack with growth.
Okay.
And it's such a deep association that sometimes you'll end up creating lack every time you desire growth. Do you resonate with that?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Another thing, I'm just going to share the screen and show it to you. Um, you can download Radical app and you can start finding your answers. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so I'm just going to ask Bandana, sorry, no, that Anupama.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what should she do to get her job? Right.
Okay.
So go for the very first number, digit you get. Generally, that's just meant for you. Okay, and allow the page to load. It takes a minute more. Left ease chakra. Okay. Anupama, reminder to contribute or impart with ease. You take too much of burden. Okay. You don't
Okay.
have to take burden of being a provider or maybe of contribution. Let it be easy.
Okay.
All right. I'll also ask one more question or ask for the clue. Let's see. Hi, Tanu. Yeah, right. Nurturance chakra. Allow yourself to be nurtured. Anupama, looks like you've always been independent, right? And
Right.
yeah, so it's time for you to just enjoy a relaxed life. Okay. And allow people to nurture you, take care of you. What's stopping you from doing that? Do you have people to look after if you do not earn for some time at least?
It has been some time, right? It's been almost like 5 years now.
Yeah.
It's not a short period of time because
Hmm.
I don't like to ask someone for. I don't like to
That's
ask someone for my expenses.
what happens if you have to ask for it. So I'm asking
It
why
doesn't make
does
me
she,
feel good. I mean,
yes, that's it. Okay, so that's a
I'm
throat
sorry,
chakra
ma'am.
issue. No problem. So that's a throat chakra issue, Anupama. Okay, self worth story more than anything else. So, what is it that you had dreamt of, planned, which you need to complete so that you feel worthy, good about yourself?
I actually wanted to, like, kind of, have enough money with me, which will help me travel, which will help me with. I always wanted to do something in candle making and aromatherapy and things like
Mm-hmm.
that, which would help me to. I mean, and I never wanted to take money from anyone else to do that. Um,
Mm.
so I wanted to earn and make that much money to start something and be able to travel and things like that.
You know, Anupama, even though you don't have money, and if you're meant to do certain things, somehow from somewhere money comes. You know that, right? Has it happened
True,
to
but
you?
that's not what's happening with me. No, it's not
That
been
means,
happening with me.
yeah, that means you're not supposed to be doing that. Okay. There's a greater plan in place you're not aligning yourself to.
So, what is the tool I can use to do? I mean, align myself.
Let me see. What's the brilliance in this situation? Okay. I'm just checking for you. I'm not saying that you shouldn't look out for the job or money. I'll tell you how.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. The right relief chakra. Yeah, you have manifested this situation to get deburdened and enjoy the relaxed life.
My
Okay.
God, I never wanted
Again
it.
and again it's coming, right relief chakra. That opposite is feeling of being burdened. Okay. Huh. So what you need to do is essentially say, yeah, there's somebody, can you identify who's the Facebook user giving such amazing affirmations? So he or she is saying, I also feel secure and happy to receive money and be nurtured. So I remain, so earning money or inflow of money, what is important for you? Earning money or an inflow of money? What if you start getting money?
Inflow of money sounds more
Good.
at
Okay.
ease.
That's what I'm saying. The inflow of money helps me relax and feel nurtured. So anything, hi Navina, thank you. Anything that you do to enjoy and allow yourself to be nurtured, money will come for that. The candle making is not there for nurturing yourself,
Okay.
right? So anything that you would do that will nurture you, money will come for that. So an easy inflow of money helps me relax and nurture myself.
Okay.
Okay. An easy inflow of money helps me relax and nurture myself.
Nurture myself.
Yeah. Anything that you associate with relaxation and nurturance would work for you.
Okay. So are you saying that I should not look out for jobs or expect to get a job or
The job shall
uh,
happen if that is a relaxed kind of job, not a burdening job.
okay, but don't you think it's ultimately your attitude, whether it's burdening or it's relaxing, it's your attitude that makes it that.
I'm sure. So if you feel relaxed, even being very hardworking, that's fine. It's how you
Okay.
feel. That's what is important, no?
Okay.
Yeah, it's
So
totally,
so
it's how you take
what
it.
am I supposed to do to attract that for myself?
That's what I'm
What do you
saying.
suggest?
Whatever you want, associate that with being relaxed and nurtured. Now, you can
Oh,
also do hard work, which appears to be hard for everyone, but that relaxes you.
true.
है ना? So,
And I enjoy doing it, so it should not be a burden.
not an issue if that is the case. I don't
Hmm.
know why this relief chakra is coming again and again. Probably you did feel burden. And at some point in time, you would have said, I wish I don't get so much of burden. Or somebody thought, somebody in
Not
your
sure.
space felt,
Yeah,
who's,
maybe.
yeah, if somebody in your space who's a provider right now wanted you to feel less burden and took a vow that I will support her, maybe you allowed that person to manifest that for you.
Right.
Yeah, so do Soul's Temple for that or Soul's Lab for that.
Okay.
Okay, that
Okay.
shall help you.
So
All
do I
right.
just say, I mean, what
Mhm.
do you want me to say when I say Soul's Temple?
So if it is
Um,
Soul's Temple, say, my, okay, my need, all right, my allowance of easy and nurtured life is my soul's temple.
okay.
Okay. And whoever has probably taken a vow that I will support you and I will not let Anupama be so burdened, because in that person's perception, Anupama is burdened. So that person is my soul's temple. That person's oaths and vows as my soul's temple. And my need to get influenced by this person is my soul's temple, or my need to get influenced by this person's oaths and vows are my soul's temple. Okay. I'm in Dubai right now, and I was talking with a young, beautiful girl who lost her very well-paid job and was in tears because she's always been working ever since she started studying. And, we were going through the app and figuring it out why. And so two chakras came. One is a system chakra, that she had issues with system. And second came, she didn't understand what issues. So emotional hurts. So in last few days, just before she lost her job, there was so much of emotional hurt because of the system and hierarchy and politics related to system and stuff like that. That she said, now I can completely resonate. She said, I'm so well qualified. People are not rejecting my CV left, right, and center because I'm overqualified now. And people are not even calling me for interview. And underqualified people end up getting job. I'm ready to go below my previous salary level, but nobody's giving me job. Because emotionally, there's an association of job with system and emotional hurts, which
That's
needed to clear.
exactly my situation as well.
Now, okay, there you go. Right? And you say, I don't get burdened.
No, I mean, like what she said, like, she is at a certain level. She's not getting that level.
Okay,
And
that way.
yeah, we're like kind of, I can relate to her when she says, I'm okay to step down my this and my package as well, as long as I get a job. So that it becomes desperation after a certain level. But I'm like, it was there at some point last year. Now I'm slightly more better because I'm using a little tools here and there. So my level of frustration and desperation is much lesser now, and I'm just asking the universe to show me a way. But
You will.
I just
You
want,
will.
yeah, I just wanted to know from Soul's Temple perspective, what can I do to,
So, yeah.
attract that?
Yeah. So I gave you quite a few hints. Work
Yeah,
on that.
yeah,
Right?
sure.
And
Yeah.
finally, affirm that money inflow makes me relaxed and nurtured.
Okay.
Okay, that's a reassociation has to be done. You learn all that in Radical Crystalline Mind. There's a why, if you read Radical Crystalline Mind book, you will understand what I'm saying. There's a need for dissociation and reassociation.
Okay.
And what do you need to dissociate? Radical app will help you.
Okay. So that's
Okay.
that's an app I can download.
You can now download from Android and even the iPhone.
iOS. Okay. Okay.
iOS also. Okay.
Sure, sure.
Anupama, also we are starting with a karma clearance program. Maybe, if there is any karmic blockage, you can work towards that. Okay. It's a free program for
Sure.
15 days starting from 4th of March.
Okay, sure. And how do I get on to that?
I'm putting the website address here. Each okay. So, all right. So I'm seeing an error occurred with the moment and try again. Okay, no problem. Okay. Hi, Aatmn. Really, with Radical, I'm enjoying every moment. I do get low, but very next moment, start doing R5 and Soul's Love, and things become easy, and I get relaxed and calm. This is my nowadays experience. Thanks a ton, Radical. Thank you. Thank you so much for giving the feedback. Wonderful. Great. So, yeah, you're most welcome to join a Karma Clearance Program starting from 4th of March. Just type each one, heal1.mn.co, and you will find this program in the event section. Okay, it's a free program for 15 days, and it's a great beginning. into the journey of self-healing. Right? We have 20 minutes more, and I see Tanu online. Hi, Tanu. Add to the stream. Okay. Hi, Tanu.
Hi, ma'am. Hello again.
Great
It's
to see
so
you.
good to see you. And I feel so beautiful. And I feel so blessed that every time I'm trying my luck, I am online with you. So I'm
I'm
completely
so
blessed
glad.
and thank
Great.
you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, Tanu.
Today, I
Mm-hmm.
just want to show my gratitude. I just want to say, ma'am, I can proudly say you have completely changed my life since
Oh
last
my God.
when I got connected with you and you did that session with me where I
Ah,
found the happiest version of myself.
uh-huh. Uh-huh. I'm
And
so
then
glad. I'm so glad.
yes, and then you told me about pre-programming and the guilt the previous Thursday. I'm feeling very calm and composed. I'm also so blessed to have such a beautiful mentors around me after you who are
Wow.
always available there to guide me and to tell me how we can work on ourselves. It's completely like a blessing, ma'am. I like right now I'm having goosebumps.
I'm so glad. Thank you.
And I also want to ask you, ma'am, we
Hmm.
say that when we are working on others, we are changing our vibrations and the things
Uh-huh.
around us starts
Mm-hmm.
changing, right?
Uh-huh.
But I have a question. For example, today we are talking about the people who had different experiences during the lockdown. Some
Hmm.
people are stressed, some people are
Hmm.
very happy. So,
Hmm.
my question is
Hmm.
if during this period,
Hmm.
a person who's very close to me,
Mm-hmm.
he is very much stressed, huh?
Right.
And because of that stress, he is having certain kind of emotions and vulnerability or whatever, tension, physical, or on physical, emotional, and mental health. So, how can I work on myself and still that is going to affect him, or do I need to work exactly for him, with him, then only it will work?
Sometimes we have a need. Do you have a earphone? Because, एक second, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm.
I'm on my
Uh,
earphones.
okay, I'll put you in mute and speak. Okay. So sometimes we have a need to help others, and that attracts a lot of helpless people in our universe. Okay. When we have a need to motivate others, what kind of people are you going to get? Demotivated ones. Okay. When you have a need to educate others, you will certainly attract people who are not educated in the field that you want to impart education in. Right. So at times, the overwhelming need to help others can also invite a lot of helpless people. What I would suggest is work with your compassion and concern for this person. If he's a very close person in your space, work with your worries of and kind of sadness looking at that person. Work with your guilt of being happy when that person is not happy, and that itself will do a miracle partly. And of course, second part would be him. Maybe he will bounce back, or he will disappear from your space, or he'll be perfectly fine, or he'll find a way to heal and help himself on his own, or maybe he'll open up to take help from you in a very neutral way. So the best thing that you can do is take care of yourself and your feelings, and that will give space for him to bounce back. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Tanu. So let's see. Veena is here. Let me add her to the stream. Uh, Hi, Ankita. Hi, Veena. You can unmute and speak. Okay. You've got to unmute and speak if you wish to. You're on stream. Hmm. Hmm. Hi. Oh, there's a lot of noise, looks like. I'll. Hmm. Yes, Ankita. Hmm. Veena, can you? Yeah, Veena, please mute yourself because there's a lot of background noise. Thank you. Yeah, Ankita, hi. Do you wish to speak something? Okay.
Hello.
Hello. Yes.
Hi, I'm
Hmm.
so sorry. I was just trying to figure this out.
No
Uh,
problem, Ankita. Yes.
uh, so I've been following Soul's Temple like ever since I was a big fan of your anchor podcasts,
Mm-hmm.
especially during the lockdown. Like they were my
Okay.
way to sort of end the day.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
Um, and I think I found them very useful. Uh,
Hmm.
I just wanted to sort of ask in terms of uh, I often find myself, trying to sort of dig very, very deep into the kind of feeling that I'm so entwined with. For example, if I'm anxious, then I find myself really spiraling down on something.
Mm-hmm.
I am I know that I should do Soul's Temple, and it's all about just reorienting the way I feel about the feeling. However,
Mm-hmm.
I tend to just go down and down, like in terms of uh, I'm not very motivated to like move forward, like very attached
Mm-hmm.
to that feeling, you
Mm-hmm.
know, feeling sad or
Hmm.
feeling, restricted. Yeah, so just wanted to ask about that.
You give your own answer. I'm very attached to it. And why are you attached to it? Okay, I'm just checking with the Radical app and not getting into my personal judgments on that, right? So let's see. I'm going to share the screen. Wait. Okay, so I'm just going to ask what is Ankita attached to? Yeah, Kasturi is asking, is this session recorded? If I wish to watch again, yes, it will be available on YouTube page. Just type Aatmn Parmar on my Facebook page, Aatmn Parmar, and you will get that, right? And we also put it in the video section of each one, heal1.mn.co. Left willingness chakra. The keywords are willingness to contribute, will to contribute, willpower to contribute, give, serve, perform, do, willing contribution, lack of will to contribute, give or serve, or lack of willingness to perform, give or contribute. Does that resonate, Ankita?
Yeah, absolutely.
It does. You know what to work on, right?
Yes.
Go ahead and work, right? Okay, I'm not getting too much into the details unless you want to speak on those lines.
Uh,
Do you want to?
uh, no, I mean, in the sense that this is something that I've been like sort of like I know it in theory, but I am unable to sort of um you know get past it. Uh, like uh, what can I say? Like it's that trying very very hard to align to things. Uh, but somehow, yeah, uh, it doesn't happen.
Ankita, if everything is fine, what would you do?
Uh, Probably like find more things, find more problems.
Okay, you should. Yeah. So you're here to contribute something to some people, okay, or certain scenarios. And somehow you're avoiding contribution,
Hmm.
right? You know that?
No, not really.
No, not that. Okay. Uh, I'm going to give you some R5 affirmation, okay? So say I R5 my reluctance to contribute.
I R5 my reluctance to contribute.
Mhm.
I R5 my reluctance to contribute. 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 I R5 my reluctance to contribute.
What's
I
happening?
R5.
What's the next thought?
Mm, I, I'm just getting a little breathless.
Yes. And that makes you feel?
Um, like anxious, like scared.
I, R, I R5 my fear of contribution.
I R5 my fear of contribution. I R5 my fear of contribution. I R5 my fear of contribution. I R5 my fear of contribution. I R5 my fear of contribution. I R5 my fear of contribution. I R5 my fear of contribution. I R5 my fear of contribution. I
I
R5 my
R5 my
fear.
shortcomings.
I R5 my shortcomings. I R5 my shortcomings. I R5 my shortcomings. I R5 my shortcomings. I R5 my shortcomings. I R5 my shortcomings. I R5 my shortcomings. I R5 my shortcomings.
Mm.
I R5 my shortcomings. I R5 my shortcomings. I R5 my shortcomings.
What's happening?
Um, I I just feel like I'm like I'm not ready to contribute, or like
Yes,
I'm not good enough to
because
contribute.
not good enough. Okay, I R5 my not good enough feeling.
I R5 my not good enough feeling. I R5 my not good enough feeling. I R5 my not good enough feeling. I R5 my not good enough feeling. I R5 my not good enough feeling. I R5 my not good enough feeling. I R5 my not good enough feeling.
Yeah,
Uh,
I R5 my fear of getting rejected for not being good enough.
I R5 my fear of getting rejected for not being good enough. I R5 my fear of getting rejected for not being good enough. I R5 my fear of getting rejected for not being good enough. I R5 my fear of getting rejected for not being good enough. I R5 my fear of getting rejected for not being good enough. I R5 my fear of getting rejected for not being good enough. I
Yes.
R5 my fear of getting rejected for not being good enough.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What's happening?
I'm just I'm just like really resonating with this, that like
Yeah,
this has been like a recurring pattern in my life.
correct. Okay. And that's one of the reasons it's better to be in some other emotional problem rather than contributing and not being good enough and being rejected for not being good enough and going through that pain. So, to avoid the pain of rejection, you're choosing to remain in some of the other problems.
Let's see.
All that you need to work with, heal the inner child who felt rejected. Just the whole attempt, the whole story is an attempt to avoid further rejection.
Got it.
Got it?
Got got it.
Work
Thank
on
you.
that so that you don't have to be your best to contribute. Your willingness to contribute is more than enough. Doesn't matter whether people like it or not liking. At least you will like what you're doing. Rise beyond people's acceptance, rejection, criticism, um, all the judgments that they pass. It's okay. People are free to do that. What is more important, your acceptance of yourself or people's acceptance of you?
Got
Hmm?
it.
Correct?
Definitely my acceptance. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Most welcome. Fantastic. Great. So it is 7:26. I hope we learned through the session quite a lot. Do leave your feedback. Even if you're watching live or you're watching it later, I would be happy to respond to that. I do often go through all the recordings and reply and keep in touch. Looking forward to see you all next week. Bye-bye and have a great evening. Sorry, just one question I think I haven't answered. Poonam, how to help aged parents suffering? First of all, address your guilt of seeing them suffer. And eventually, as and when they get ready, help them dissociate suffering with growth, suffering with spirituality, suffering with proximity to God. So, if they're open to it, you can help them out. Otherwise, just work with your feelings because there's a limit to what you can do for parents. You can be a nice girl, nice family member, and yet, if somebody is deliberately choosing to suffer without being aware, or without trying to get out of it, there's a limit to what we can do sometimes. So, but at least we can work with our own feelings and our own guilts. And also, if you have taken any oaths or vows to look after them, you will probably manifest suffering in your space, right? So, work with your own oaths and vows. How? Karma clearance will work on that, right? Okay. Thank you so much. That's all. It's 1 hour almost, and we end this broadcast. See you next week.